What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I just wanted to run through our picks tonight real quick. I want to do a recap as well. I always post it, like I said, every night in our Discord, but really there wasn't much that happened. We had leg 3 lost for the Blazers, which usually is going to mean not such a great day, but it actually wound up being almost a complete break-even day, mostly because we got some leg 2 plus odds. Knicks came through at 140. And again, since we're doing 2 units, we actually get paid better with plus odds on a leg 2 than we would on a leg 1, which usually just a sequence is 1 unit. We got Red Wings on a leg 2, and that was paying almost 2.25 to 1. We were able to get the Spurs at +1. Oh, no, we didn't get them. We missed that one. We got the Flames at +140. So we did pretty good. Hockey helped us out a lot. Almost a break-even day, like I said. I think we technically finished then -2 units if you add everything up from yesterday. So, like I said, not a bad day at all with a leg 3 loss. And over the course of the last week, we've been doing very well. So today, same type of logic for these picks. Pistons, Pacers. I like the Pistons because I think the Pacers, again, they can't get too much ahead of the pack here. That being the Magic, the Raptors, teams with same records or worse records, the Bulls. So I do think that the Pacers lose. Also, 3.5 is very light. I think people are going to be slamming the Pacers. So I'm going to take the Pistons. I am going to take the Pistons here. And I just think it's one of those games where way more people are going to be on the Pacers. Next, I do like the Hawks to cover the Wolves, simply because I think, again, I don't think the Wolves can get too far ahead of the Lakers, too far ahead of the Blazers, too far ahead of the Thunder, Jazz. I think they got to keep it close. Seems like the Mavs can pull away because we know they're getting in the playoffs. Wolves, Jazz, not too sure. So definitely like the Hawks to cover, and I also like the Heat to cover. Now, they might win and not cover. That could be a thing. But I think a lot of people are going to be on the Jazz because the Heat have been so underwhelming this year, thinking they can get an upset with the Jazz. So I'm going to take the Heat cover. Next, I like the Mavs cover. They just lost to the Grizzlies. They did cover them, but they lost. I don't think many people are hot on the Mavs right now. And again, 34-34, I think they got to pull ahead of these other teams like the Wolves, Jazz, etc. So I like the Mavs. Celtics, Rockets, I think the Celtics cover this. I think they look very strong. And again, I think they're going to finish with the best record in the entire league. So again, for that to happen, obviously they would need to win games they should. And I still think they get 60 wins. I know that means they can only have one more loss, but I think they'll get it. So we'll see what happens. But I like them to cover. Suns, Warriors, this one I like the Warriors. More so because I think the playoffs, these two teams are going to get matched up. And I think the Suns are going to win. Booker, is saying, let's see what happens. We're in the playoffs. Clay was bragging about them having 4 rings. And now I think they're going to put over the Suns when KD, is healthy. So for this game, I think the Warriors win. And it'll have their seeding closer. I think they're going to get the 4 and 5 seeds. For that to happen, their records have to be almost identical. So I think Warriors winning makes sense for a bunch of reasons. Then we got Bucks, Kings, and in this one I like the Bucks. I've been wrong on essentially every time I've picked the Kings, whether I pick them, fade them, over, under. It's pretty laughable. So if Bucks don't cover, I'm just going to start doing the opposite of what I would normally do with the Kings. We had them a couple, the games I've taken them, they've lost. It's pretty, and then when I pick them to lose, they do awesome. But I do like the Bucks on this occasion. I think, again, they're going to have the East, they have to have Sixers, Celtics, Bucks, Cavs. Certain teams in the East look like threats because the West looks so damn unbeatable. So, again, nothing crazy. Mostly leg 1s, but I got a decent bit of leg 2s here. So you can see. And Pistons, Pacers, I said beat for a reason, not cover. We're going to take them to beat because I genuinely think people are going to be on the Pacers' money line, really, more so than the cover. So that's why I like the Pistons to beat the public. I think it's a great parlay killer. And because we're getting plus 140, it's only a leg 1. And again, for the narrative, I think the Pacers have to lose so the Magic, other teams can stay in it. So I am playing the money line on that one, but for a reason. I'm not doing it just because the plus odds. I'm doing it because I really think that everything considered, I think it makes sense that the Pistons straight up win. So for our Hurricanes loss yesterday, they did not cover the Devils. We're going to plug in Hawks. That's a leg too. And if you've seen, you can tune out if you're used to, if you've seen this by now. I do have one hockey pick to go over though, or two hockey picks. But I don't like to be redundant, but I like to show people every single time I do this exactly how I do it. So Warriors cover Suns, as I said. Same principle. We'll plug that in for our Nuggets loss yesterday. And again, the second we get a W, close out the sequence. If we lose three in a row, it's 7 units we lose, like with the Blazers, and we move on. We got to win just 8 for every time we lose a 3-legger, and that's why we've been so successful. Heat cover Jazz. I did make a second as a leg too, because again, I think a lot of people are going to be on the Jazz here, just because of the 7 points. It's a lot of points, 7.5, 8 points. It's going to make people more inclined to take the Jazz, and the Heat have been terrible, so I like the Heat here for the cover. And leg 3, the only one I went with was Mavs on Grizzlies. It's a TV game, NBA TV game, or ESPN, one of them. It's one where I think a lot of people are going to be on the Grizzlies because of how sorry the Mavs have looked. So I think it's a game that stands to reason to go leg 3. And the Mavs record against the spread again. Unless they're going to break history, I'm pretty sure they got to get a couple of wins going forward. So here we got, here's the rest of one. The leg 1s are going to be the Pistons because we're getting plus odds. And we're going to do the Bucks as a leg 1, Celtics as a leg 1. And I just noticed for some reason with the East, I don't know why, Celtics, Pistons, Pacers, I haven't had as good of a read as I had with some of the Western teams like the Lakers, Warriors, etc. So I don't know. That's why a lot of times I'll make, if you notice, not always. Sometimes here like Hawks, Wolves is an intra-conference matchup. But a lot of times my leg 2s are West. Or if it's not, it's usually the Heat, because I like the Heat because they are terrible against the spread. But you'll notice like Sixers, Wizards, a lot of time I'll keep them as leg 1s. But I just try and stick to the conference I have a better read on, slightly better read on the West. So like I said, we have hockey too. We have a leg 1 here. This one's the least likely to pay out, to be honest. I looked at the 3 games tonight, and the Stars covering the Kraken. Outside of alternate lines, it's paying the best. So it's not a great shot of a payout. That's why I'm making it a leg 1. But the Kraken are really good against the spread. So again, just increases the chances people are going to take them to cover. And for that reason, I like that they might take them minus 2.5 for that reason. So doesn't mean the Stars can't cover. I just don't love it, but I like it enough to make it a leg 1. Now the Avalanche Canadiens over I like a lot because the Avalanche have not gone over much at all. So people see that and they're more inclined, in my opinion, to take the under. By the way, hockey's treated us incredibly well. Our best sport by far, because we're hitting at higher than a 50% rate, which we're hitting at higher than a 50% rate in other sports. But the thing with hockey is, this is just as of yesterday. I have to update this, 24 and 20 as of 3-3. But all these NHL plus odds are accurate as of yesterday. We hit the Wings and the Flames yesterday. So all these that we're hitting, if we're hitting it on a leg 2, leg 3, it's even better. Because for the Wings, for example, if we play that as a leg 3, now we're getting paid 8 units. So it's pretty insane if you think about it. But my point is, we're ranging anywhere between 1.25 to 2.25, and our sequences, again, they're only supposed to profit a unit. So now when we're profiting plus 140, not on all of them, but we're hitting plus 145, we hit a plus 218, and a lot of plus 150s, plus 180s. It adds up. Not only does it become a juice killer where it's negating our juice, but we're actually going to start picking up more than a unit a sequence with baseball and hockey basically having the same principle. So not to, ramble on, I just like to go into the rhyme and reason because I know a lot of new people are watching. So you can literally see exactly what I played again, where I plugged it in. Doesn't matter where you plug your leg twos in. Like I said, no, it does not matter where you plug them in. But I just like to show you which ones are playing as leg twos and are only leg three, which means it's going to be for 4 units. Leg one's 1 unit, leg two's 2 units, leg three's 4. That's going to be the Mavs cover. You could just take them to win, honestly, because it's their. Last I checked, they were getting a point, which means taking them to win, we're getting even odds. If you really care about the 1 point, you could take them +1. I don't really mess with it unless it's 2 points. If it's 2 points, I'll take the 2 points. For 1, I'll just get the odds and I'll get plus odds. But yeah, Mavs, beat/cover Grizzlies is my favorite play. That's my leg 3. And as you can see, we don't have a ton of plays, but I think we do well. Also, I will go into Jimmy G because, I think it was like week 16 when a lot of Niner fans were telling me Niners are sticking with Purdy. And I thought of the landing destinations for Jimmy, and the Raiders make sense. And I think what they're doing is setting up a lot of teams with great quarterbacks. You got Rodgers going to the Jets probably, it looks like. And people were going to sleep on Jimmy to the Raiders. Okay, he's an average quarterback. He couldn't cut it with the Niners, couldn't cut it with the Patriots, couldn't cut it with the Niners the first time around. And I think they're going to just kind of look at it as a demotion. They're going to look at Derek Carr as a better quarterback. So I actually think the Raiders are going to be a team to watch, and Jimmy G might have a really good year. So I'll go into all that. We can do some early draft odds, early draft bets, predictions, stuff like that. But most importantly, I want you guys to get these picks in for tonight. I think we have a good night. The best example I can use is last night we had a bad night and still finished. I think we were net, like I said, -2 or -1 units, which is basically a break-even day, thanks to hockey. We don't have hockey to fall back on today, so hopefully I picked a good NBA schedule. So take care, everybody. Happy earnings. And if I didn't mention it, I think I did, but sometimes I forget because I do all these live and unedited. It's interesting, Pittsburgh versus Mississippi State. With a Mississippi State win, they both move to the exact same record, and they're also the same ranking. So I'm not playing it, but if someone's like, I really, really wanted, to play this college game, Mississippi State a win, they're both 22-12, and their ranking is both 11. So a lot of the same numbers, 1-1, 2-2, 1-2. So for that reason, I would go with Mississippi State. If for the people that really are asked, they want to play college. I just thought that number was interesting. I'm not personally playing it, but I did find that to be an interesting combo, which, again, only happens if Mississippi State wins. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.